Hi BookTube, my name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with another weekly reading vlog. So today is the 17th, it's the 17th of April. Happy Easter everybody, it's Easter Sunday. So happy Easter for everyone who celebrates. I think this is the beginning of Passover, am I correct? Sorry if I got that incorrect. I think it is. I think that's what somebody said this weekend. So welcome to another weekly reading vlog. A couple little of announcement-y type things before I jump into, what I'm reading right now and things like that. So for one, I want to mention this. I want to try and remember to mention this every video so I don't forget that if you're only here to see my book reviews, listed in the description box below is timestamps, so you can jump ahead to the individual book reviews in case that's all you're interested in seeing. The other thing I wanted to mention, now I just filmed a video, which you guys will have already seen. I did a category spotlight on Amish books in Harlequin or Love Inspired. And as I was filming that video, I got an idea and I was going to say it there, but I thought, no, let me mention it here. So that way you guys can kind of comment if you're interested. So I was thinking about doing, I'm over 3,500 subscribers. I'm not anywhere close to 4,000 at this point. I don't know if I'm ever even going to hit 4,000. If I do, great. If I don't, great. It doesn't matter. But I not for any sort of a milestone goal, but I got thinking that I do have a lot of new subscribers within the last year or so. And I do talk a ton about category romance here on the channel. And I was thinking about doing a category romance Q&A. So let me know if you guys are interested. If you have category romance questions, post them in the comments below. I'm going to save them. And then, maybe in May, like at the beginning of May or something like that, I'll do an entire Q&A video on category romance. So let me know your thoughts. I am in no way an expert. I would never pretend to be an expert. But I've been reading these books for more than 20 years. So I like to think I've picked up a few things. And if I don't have the answer to your question, I can look and see what I can find. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything at all like that, please post them below because I would love to do that video. I think it would be a ton of fun. So yeah, anyway, let me know. So let's get into what I'm reading right now. So I've kind of got a bunch of stuff on the go, but I'm trying to pare it down. So I like reading more than one thing at a time. That's not going to change. But I think, right now, I currently have, 2 audiobooks on the go. Technically, I have 4, but we won't get into... 2 of them are for, 2 of them we're going to put them over here for now. But the 2 that are active, I'm almost done both of them. And I just, I need to get them done. So I think what I'm going to do is try and go down to, 1 audiobook, and then maybe a print and ebook. And, so I'm still reading more than 1 book at a time, but it's in different formats. So I'm going to try and finish off some stuff right now. So my goal for today is I'd like to finish Beauty and the Baller by Ilsa Madden-Mills. I've got 2 hours left on this one. I should be able to get it done, no problem at all. So that is my one goal for today. I'm not going to talk about it right now because, like I said, I'd like to finish it. So I will pop back on later today and give you guys my full review on that one. So that's what I'm currently listening. That's the first thing I'm currently listening to on audio. My other book I'd like to finish today. I am this far into it. Am I that far into it at this point? No. No. I'm further than this. I am much further than this. I think I've got only a couple of hours left on this one. And it is Pulp Friction by Lindsey. This is the second book in the A Cider Shop Mystery Series. It's a cozy mystery series. And again, I'd like to finish this one today too. So my goal is to finish these 2 books. If I get them done today, even if I only get one of them done today, I'm going to pop back on here again to give you guys a full review. But that's my goal for today, is to finish these 2 books on audio, and then I can pick up something else on audio and just try and stick to the one book. As I said, there are 2 other books on audio, but those are being put over here. So even though I have a physical copy of this, I am currently reading this digitally from Harlequin because I also do have a digital edition from on the Glow app from Harlequin. We have Building Her Amish Dream by Joanne Brown, Is this how far I am into this one? I think so. No, I think I'm another. This is the problem when, like, you're reading digitally and you've got a physical edition. There it is. I'm on chapter 7. So I'm almost about 100 pages through this. So there we go. About 100 pages through this one. Not quite halfway. So it's all right. I'm not loving it, to be completely honest, but hopefully I'll get this one done in the next few days and I can talk about that. And then just this morning, I started this one actually physically, and that is A Deputy in Amish Country by Patricia Johns. This is a heartwarming novel. I literally just started it. I'm like barely, So this is essentially about a woman who witnessed a crime. She witnessed a murder in a bank, I think, that she works at. And the local deputy is hiding her at his farm. He's not Amish, she's not Amish, but he lives in Amish country. So that's why, But anyway, this one and this one are both for Amish in April, which starts on Tuesday. So I am getting a jump on the Amish books. But as I said in my video for Amish in April, that I'm encouraging you to read them all month long. So yeah, so there's that. And then one of the audio adjacent books, one of them I can't talk about. You guys will have already seen the video for it. That I am reading 4 books this month from Harlequin that are being released. Pardon me, I've got the hiccups. In the month of April. And 2 of them I was able to find on Hoopla. So one of them I'm listening to, but I'm not going to share that one with you. I should get that one done in the next day or so. But the other book I am participating with Storm. She is doing a group read of Gone with the Wind. So this is a reread for me. I've read this book several times. I've seen the movie more than several times. Several times. And right now I am on chapter 8. So I'm just started part 2. I'm on chapter 8. So just to show you, that's how far into it I am. So I just thought I would point this out at the beginning of the week and then talk about it again at the end of the week. So I'm not going to talk about what this is about, just to say that I am reading it still. My goal is a chapter a day. So I should get another 7 chapters or so read this week. And yeah, I am looking forward to it. I am really enjoying this reread through it. It's been a while since I've read it. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. So that's everything I've kind of got on the go right now. But like I said, I will pop back on in later on today when I finish that romance novel and the cozy mystery. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hi, friends. It is not later on Sunday. It is now Monday afternoon, actually. So sorry I didn't pop back on to update yesterday because I did finish 2 books yesterday. Now, I had planned on doing that, but then I finished the first book and it was like almost 9 o'clock at night. And then I was laying in bed and I'm like, oh, I'll finish Pulp Friction tomorrow, maybe on my way to work. And I looked and I realized that I had like a very small amount of listening time left. So I thought, let's just get it finished tonight. So that's what I did, is I just laid in bed last night for about a half an hour and finished the second book. So that's why I did not pop back on here yesterday to update that. But I am here to talk about it now. So, let me grab one other thing. Ooh, sorry. Okay, so while I'm sitting here so I can show you what I'm currently reading. So anyway, yesterday the first book that I finished was Beauty and the Baller by Ilsa Madden-Mills. This is a contemporary romance novel. It is narrated by Sebastian York and, oh my goodness, sorry. Let me have a quick look here, Audible, who the female narrator is, because it's told in it's very, very common now with contemporary romance, having these dual narrations for these books, and it seems to be like a trend, I guess. I don't know. I don't dislike it, but I don't know. It's like I said, it just seems to be all the books do this now. So yes, it was narrated on audio by Sebastian York and Savannah Peachwood. So they did a really great job with narrating it. So I really, really enjoyed the story. I actually ended up giving it 4.5 stars. It almost got a 5-star from me, but not quite. So the premise of this book is about our main character named Nova, who is a former beauty queen in this small town of Bluebell, Texas. And prior to the start of the story, like in the prologue, about 2 or 3 years before the actual story starts, she ends up meeting this guy by the name of Rowan at a event, and it's not accidental. She's there on purpose, and she's dressed like Princess Leia because Ronan, is a huge Star Wars fan. He is also a NFL player, a very well-known NFL player. He won some big trophy in football, the Heisman. I don't know what any of that is. I don't know football very well, to be honest. You don't need to be a football lover to enjoy this book, let me tell you that. So essentially, they meet on purpose at this event, and he ends up getting a little smitten with her. They have a one-night stand. During the course of the one-night stand, he calls her by his dead girlfriend's name. Little awkward. So what happened to him, like, it's not a spoiler because you find this out right at the prologue, is that was it his girlfriend or his fiance? Regardless, she was killed in a car accident and he was driving the car. So this was even like a year before the prologue. So like it happened, a while before. But he physically and mentally still bears the scars from that accident. So fast forward 3 years, clearly she leaves in the middle of the night and, never to be seen again kind of a scenario. And 3 years go by and there's and she's back in Bluebell. She had moved out and gone to New York, which is where she met Ronan. And Ronan, I think. Sorry. And she's moved home because her mother passed away. And she is going to be caring for her 15-year-old sister, Sabine. There is quite a big age gap between the two sisters. So she's back in Texas and she's there. She's been there for about a month or two. And there's this very boisterous party happening next door to her house. So she kind of bullies her way into this party. And guess who's there? Mr. One Night Stand. So it turns out he is, pardon me, I've got the hiccups. He is the new football coach for the high school football team. And the story goes from there. And the two of them start a relationship. It was really, really good. I loved this book so much. I loved our main characters. I loved Nova and Ronan. And I love the secondary character, Sabine. Nova's sister is on the autism spectrum. And she is just an absolute delight as a character. The boys on the high school football team are just a hoot. The other teachers, like she's essentially back in her high school, and she's actually ends up teaching there. And a lot of the other teachers are former classmates of hers. And, when you've grown up with people or they've known you since you were a kid, it was really good. I love the small town Texas atmosphere. Again, you do not have to be a football person to get this book. To understand this, and to appreciate it. There is talk of football because he is a football coach, but it's like high school football mostly is what's discussed, right? So yeah, at the end of the day, 4.5 stars. I didn't absolutely love it. The dark moment, those of you who read romance know it follows a very specific guideline of how the stories are kind of written in a way. The meet cute, and then you have this, and then the dark moment, and blah, blah, blah. And, I saw it coming a mile away. You kind of always know you knew what it was right from the beginning, so it wasn't like it was a big shocker that, he never planned on staying in Bluebell. So why she would start something and then be upset, when he's going to be leaving. But I appreciate it was the way she kind of found out that it was going to happen. The other thing was it had an epilogue. I'm not a fan of epilogues in romance novels unless we're talking Bridgerton. I loved the second epilogues in Bridgerton. That was like many, many, many years in the future. So yeah, it was the epilogue was fine. I just never feel like they're needed. The story ended. I get it, I don't know. I would much rather have it be a series and let's see another couple. And, these two just end up showing up in the background, the story starts off at their wedding or something like that. You know what I mean? But overall, 4.5 stars for a contemporary romance. And not that I'm knocking romance, but I very rarely give a romance, as much as I love romance, I very rarely actually give it a star rating of 4.5 to 5. And I loved this. I really, really liked it. This one was an e-arc. I had the art copy from Montlake, but I did spend my own money to get the audiobook, and I'm really glad I did. But for those of you who want to read this one, it is available on Kindle Unlimited, so do go ahead and check that out. It's out now. I really enjoyed it. The other book that I finished late last night, well, past my bedtime, was Pulp Friction by Julianne Lindsey. This is a cozy mystery, and I gave it 3.5 stars. So this is the second book in the A Cider Shop Mystery series, and I was so super stoked when I finished it last night because I thought to myself, oh my gosh, great, I only have one more book in this series because this is only a 3-book series. So I went and looked on Goodreads, and no guys, I finished the series because I've read book 3. I had read book 1, and then I had gotten book 3 from NetGalley, so I read that in the fall. And then I read this one now. I finished a series, you guys. I finished a freaking series. It may only be a 3-book series, but I finished a series, so I will take it. So this is a cozy mystery series, like I said. Our main character's name is Winona May, and she lives and works on this apple orchard with her grandmother. Granny Smythe is the grandmother's name, and she has a cider shop that's in the old barn on the property, and their friends of hers are using the barn to host their wedding. So at the very beginning of the book, there's this wedding going on, and then the groom ends up being murdered. And Winnie's ex-boyfriend, Hank, is kind of implicated in the murder, and he takes off. He like skips town and nobody knows where he is. So of course Winnie is on the case to find out what happened, and I don't want to say anything else other than that. It was really cute. This, like I said, is a cozy mystery series. There's only the 3 books in it. Well worth your time to read, you guys. This series is delightful. The first book takes place at Christmas time. The second book takes place in the summer, sometime around, I'd say like the 4th of July. And then the third and final book is just after Halloween. So you're kind of really getting a lot of seasonal vibes from this, especially with it taking place on an apple orchard. It really comes like through. And I love the grandmother in this. The secondary characters in cozy mystery series are always like the best thing ever. And the grandmother and her little friends have a stitching group, and they cross stitch. But they cross stitch like relatively inappropriate sayings, as if they're like samplers that would go up on your wall. So like there's this one in the story that what's his name? Cooper? Hank is the boyfriend. I'm sure it's Cooper is the name of the cop. And there's kind of a little bit of a romance, but not really. But he jokingly says to the grandmother that he wants her to stitch him a sampler to go up in his bathroom that says, "Please seat yourself." Stuff like that. It's delightful and it's cute. And I love, love, love Winnie's friend Dot, who works for the National Park Service, and she rescues all these animals, and every animal that she rescues, she names, oh my gosh, what is she? Kenny Rogers. She names them all Kenny Rogers. There's a fainting goat in this story. You can't go wrong with this. If you're a cozy mystery person, please do yourself a favor and pick up this series. Absolutely delightful. Like I said, I gave it 3.5 stars. I mean, it's not a huge high rating, but this was such an enjoyable read, and I did listen to this one on audio as well. Sorry, I think it's Melissa Bentley is the narrator, but let me double check. Friction. I'm almost Melissa, really? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Amy Melissa Bentley. Amy Melissa Bentley is the narrator. She does a fabulous job. She narrates all 3 of the books in this series. I was able to grab it from Hoopla. Definitely check it out. Like I said, well worth your time. You will not be disappointed at all in this one. So yeah, so there are 2 books already done this week, you guys. Yay. So I did change things up. I think I mentioned that. Did I mention that in my last clip? That I'm trying to just have like one audiobook going at a time. And I think I'm going to get through them a lot faster that way, because this morning on my way to work and then on my way home from work, I started listening to on audio The Dead Will Tell by Linda Castillo, and I'm already 40% of the way through this. So I am flying through it. I am really enjoying it so far. I hope to finish it the next day or so. I mean, if I'm already 40% of the way through it, I plan on getting some listened to tonight, and hopefully get it finished tomorrow. That's the goal. So I don't want to talk too much about this one. It's not terribly long. This is book 6 in the Kate Burkholder series. So I will talk more about this one. Like I said, my goal is to get it done tomorrow, Wednesday at the absolute latest. so I'll talk to you about it then. It is about it's about a current murder that happened that ties into an old cold case. So it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, and I will report back. The other two books that I'm currently reading right now it's like all Amish right now. All Amish all the time right now. I am still reading Building Her Amish Dream. I'm about 50% of the way through this one, and I am enjoying it. I'm not loving it, but I'm enjoying it. And I am also currently just still started A Deputy in Amish Country by Patricia Johns. So I am enjoying this one as well, but again, cannot state too much on this one as I only just started it. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I have for this clip today. Sorry, that was my computer. Gotta log back on because I am on my lunch break right now, so I gotta log back on to work. But I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Bye, guys. So, friends, you might be wondering why you're looking at some burgundy curtains. Because my husband just came up and blamed me for this. This is not my fault. Guys, it's freaking snowing. Like, look at this. It's April, the what now? The 18th? Yeah. And not just a little snow, a lot of snow. Because why not? You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty. You guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do love me some snow. But I'm kind of over it at this point. I put away my winter coat and boots. This is not going to be a good thing. Hi friends, happy Tuesday. Today is I don't know what day it is today. Is it the 19th? I think it's the 19th. I'm trying to read the calendar. So I'm in a bit of a different area. I'm in the kitchen, if you couldn't tell. So I'm the only one home right now. My husband has left for work. My mom had a dentist appointment, so I thought, for something different this morning, let's shoot some video from the kitchen. Because I am ready to go to work. Well, getting ready to go to work. I literally just came downstairs. I showered and I got dressed, and here I am. I am going to make my lunch and my breakfast. I'm going to make my eat my breakfast while I'm making my lunch. Do you guys do that too, or is that just me? I'm I'm one of those people who leaves things to the last minute in the morning, sort of. I have to leave the house by 10. Usually I try and actually leave by 9:45 because I want to do a Starbucks stop in the morning. But I get in the shower about 9 o'clock. Oh, there's Bernard. I get in the shower about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it literally takes me like 20 minutes to do everything because it is currently 22 minutes after 9, and I am already downstairs. Like, sort of blow dried my hair. It's still, hi Bernard, it's still a little damp, but I do, a good enough job. And I get dressed, and click, 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 that's Bernard walking by. As we like to say, he does his steps. So the area that I'm in, I'm not showing too much, but so come out of the kitchen, there's the front door, right? And then go down this hallway that I'm walking down here, and I'll turn around so you guys can see. So the front door is behind me. Excuse me, Bernard. That's another area into the kitchen. So there's 2 doors into the kitchen. This is kind of the dining room area. And then that is what we always refer to as the good room growing up. Like, that's the room where all of Mom's china is and stuff like that. And right now you can see there's a cat tower. So anyway, there's this whole little walk around for the kitchen. So Bernard spends his mornings, as we like to say, getting his steps in by walking around and around the kitchen. So there's the living room behind me, and then the stairs to go upstairs, and the stairs into the basement as well. So yeah. Anyway, I showed you guys a clip yesterday of the snow that we had. Are you ready to see outside right now? I don't know if you're going to be able to because it's bright, but no, I'll have to turn the camera around. There is literally... No, you're not. Woo! There's no snow out there. I'll turn the camera on a little bit so you guys can see. But anyway, do you like that stained glass painting? Isn't that gorgeous? Friends of my parents made that. So anyway, yeah. Little house tour this morning. So I got to make my breakfast. I got to make my lunch. And yeah, I probably will not check in again today. Sorry for my thumb. I probably won't check in again today. because I do not anticipate finishing anything. I am still listening to The Dead Will Tell by Linda Castillo. I didn't get any reading really done last night. I got maybe a chapter done because I got stuck at work a little bit later with a client on the phone, which is fine. And then me, Bree, and Aaron did a recording with Alicia for the Categorically Romance podcast. And by the time I was done all of that and had dinner, I was done for the night and pretty much just went to bed. So yeah, I'm hoping to get some more reading done today and tonight. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I'm going to show you guys the outside, and that'll probably be it for today, but I will definitely check in tomorrow. Bye, guys. Yesterday, snow. Today, absolutely nothing. Ignore the pool thing. It should be. Well, you can see a bit of the snow on it, that it clearly didn't all melt, so it did actually snow, but now you wouldn't have even known. Like, there's little spots where there's some snow, but really nothing. And I mean, we got a decent amount, but like my husband said, it didn't get cold enough to stick. So anyway, guys, that's it. Oh, y'all want to see Bernard? Bean. Say hello, Mr. B. Hi. You saying hi to the peoples? No. So yesterday you saw the crazy bean. Today we see the lazy bean. Laying in my bed, just relaxing, hey? He's a good boy. Look at that face. Look at those pretty eyes, huh? Yeah, he's a handsome man. All right, sir. You have a nap. You have a nap. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday. So it has been a couple of days since the last time I checked in. I had meant to check in yesterday, but when I got back from my lunch, when I drove home over my lunch break, because I've been at work every day this week, I had like no time to sit down and talk to you guys. And it got really, really super busy in the afternoon at work, so I didn't have time again. So anyway, I'm here checking in now. I am off work today. I am not working from home. I am literally off work today, and I'm super happy about that. So I had an appointment down at the hospital with the pacemaker clinic, just as a follow-up, because I had the pacemaker put in back in February. So they, of course, want to do a checkup, and then they want to see me again in 6 months. Everything looks great. It was a bit of a mad rush this morning, so my appointment was for 10 a.m. downtown. So I live in good traffic about 45 minutes from the city, and I gave myself 2 hours, and it's a good thing I did, because it was raining this morning, so that makes things extra fun with travel. And I don't take the highway. I'm not a highway driver. There's so many cars on the road, and with the rain, and some of them just go so fast, I feel so much more comfortable just taking the regular, I guess, back roads or whatever. It takes a lot longer, and I understand that. But for my own sanity, it's much better. And it's a nicer drive too, because you can look at the houses, and it's a little bit more relaxed. So anyway, I got down to the hospital, and right across from the hospital is the parking garage. So I got to the parking garage at 20 to 10, and I'm like, great, I've still got 20 minutes to get, wherever. It took me 10 minutes to find a parking spot. So it's like a tower parking garage, like, you know what I mean? It's like around and around and around. It's like, am I going to find a spot at some point before I run out of parking garage? So I did. Got the car parked. It was 10 to 10. Back downstairs, across the street to the hospital, and I knew where I had to go. I'd been to this area before, but it had been a number of years, and they've since done construction. So I was like trying to find this one set of elevators that would take me to the area. Finally found them, finally got there. It was 5 after 10, and I thought, okay, great. So I checked in. The girl's like, have a seat. They'll call you when they're ready for you. I literally sit down and pull out my book, and I get called. So I go in for the pacemaker thing. I'm literally in there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. An hour and a half drive in, an hour and a half plus drive in, an hour and a half drive home for a 10-minute appointment. But they actually had to test the actual pacemaker itself. So I get it. It's fine. So my follow-up appointment will be in September. And they've actually booked me the exact same day that I have to go down to the hospital to see my other cardiologist. So it all works out. So it's not like a wasted trip of going down for 10 minutes. So anyway, that was my morning. So I stopped at Krispy Kreme on my way home because wanted to stop at Krispy Kreme, and I stopped and got a coffee at McDonald's, so I'm enjoying it now. I like having a coffee every day. I allow myself one coffee every day. And I'm not one, I know a lot of people are like, they have to have their coffee in the morning. I'm not one of those people. I can function without it, but I prefer to have it and enjoy it. Like if I'm having it and rushing out the door, that's not an enjoyment to me. Because I'm only allowed the one every day, it's like a treat. And so now that I'm home, I stopped and got my coffee. I put the creamer and stuff in it when I got home. And after I'm done recording this, I'm going to edit a little bit of video. I'm going to do some reading, and I'm going to enjoy my coffee. And life is good. Life is good. So after I'm done filming this video, I'm going to film the video, that will have come out on Friday. The, Pick My Weekend Read video. So anyway, back to the reason that we're here, sitting down, is to talk about books. And guys, I finished 2 books. I finished a book on Tuesday, and then I finished a book yesterday. So we'll start with the one I finished on Tuesday. And that was The Dead Will Tell by Linda Castillo. This I listened to on audio, and it was Kathleen McIerney who does the narration on this one. She does them for all of these books. This is book 6 in the Kate Burkholder series. And she does a great job narrating. I really, really like them. So I give this book, you guys, 4.5 stars. I loved it. I think this one is probably my favorite so far in the series. So it is a series of books following our chief of police, Kate Burkholder, in a small Ohio town called Painter's Mill. And she investigates crimes. And a lot of these crimes happen in and around the Amish, or to, or around, or adjacent to the Amish people. She is former Amish herself. She was raised in the faith and then decided not to join the church when she was a teenager, and she left. And her family, like her brother and sister, still live in town, but she has kind of an estranged relationship with them. But because she grew up in the church or in the faith, she is a great person to be able to talk to the Amish people when stuff is happening. So there is a few overarching stories that happen within this series, but you could absolutely pick these books up at random and just read them. You don't necessarily have to have read the other books. And the one incident that's touched on that you find out about in book 1 that happens to Kate's boyfriend, Tomasetti, the thing that happens to him prior to the series starting, enough explanation is given that if you were not familiar with the situation, you understand enough to follow that small bit of the storyline, because there is a little bit that's touched upon in this book. So the plot of this story as it is, it's about these people who are being murdered. And it seems to have no connection, but it's a very small town, and suddenly, 3 people in the town are dead, and, kind of a wondering why. And it turns out it is related back to a cold case back from 1979, when an entire Amish family was murdered. Well, there was what they're assuming was there was a robbery, because not the entire family died, but the oldest son survived. So the father was killed, and then the 4 siblings, I think, there was a fire in the house. They were locked in the basement, so they all died in the fire. And then the mother was abducted with the people who came in to rob them, and she was presumed dead. So I'm just going to go with that. That's all I want to tell you about this. This was so good. The thing I love about these is that I'm not a person to read a mystery or a thriller and try and guess what's going to happen. I don't do that, because for me, it takes away the enjoyment. For some people, that is the enjoyment, and that's awesome. If that's your enjoyment, then definitely do it. But for me, the enjoyment comes from not doing that. And then when stuff happens, you're like, ooh, I was literally sitting on the couch on Tuesday night because I had like an hour left of the audiobook, and my husband was watching the hockey game. So I just had my earbud in, and I was just listening to this as I was knitting on my sock. And it got to a point I went, what? And my husband's like, what? And I'm like, no, I need to finish. So, of course, I couldn't explain it to him because it would have made no sense out of context, right? So it was really, really good. Like I said, I think it's my favorite in the series so far, and I do love this series. So this I read for Amish in April, of course. And, as I like to warn people, this is not an Amish cozy mystery. This book gets violent, It gets graphic. There is swearing in the book. Yes, it does feature Amish people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's, all peace and happiness and love and, it's the dark side for sure. Come to the dark side. We have Amish. But it's such a good series, you guys. Such a good series, and I'm such a big fan of it. So yeah, I was really, really happy getting that one done. The one I finished yesterday was another one that I read for Amish in April, and that was Building Her Amish Dream by Joanne Brown. This is the first book in the An Amish of Prince Edward Island story series. I gave this one 3.5 stars. So I liked this one. I didn't love this one. I think the things that I liked the most about this book was the setting, that it was in PEI. As a Canadian, I absolutely loved seeing that Canadian setting and how they talk about Ontario, where our main characters are from, a small town in Ontario called Aylmer. And I think I talked about this before, that I actually have family from Aylmer, like my was it my great-grandparents? My dad's grandparents, so my great-grandparents, are buried in a cemetery in Aylmer, Ontario. So we have family ties to that town. They weren't Amish. It just so happens that actually Aylmer has a relatively large Amish population, which I find very interesting, and I think I'd like to travel there this summer. Maybe that might be kind of fun to do. But anyways, that's a complete side note. So this is the story of Maddie and Benjamin, and Benjamin came up to PEI from New York, and Maddie is there from Ontario. But the two of them knew each other many, many years ago, because Benjamin was courting Maddie's sister Cheryl. They call it walking out. He went walking out with her, essentially. And something happened, and they didn't end up staying together, and they ended up splitting up. And Maddie back then had a big crush on Benjamin, but there is an age gap between them. So now it's not as noticeable now that they're older, but when she was younger, of course, you know how it goes, right, you guys? Like, if you're 14 and, there's a guy that you have that you're sweet on who's 18, that's like in a million-year age difference. Whereas when you get into your 30s, like let's say you're 30 and he's 34, that's not a big deal at all. Do you know what I mean? So that's the situation. Maddie is also looking after her younger sister Daisy, who's in a wheelchair, and I believe, I can't remember now because they didn't talk about it very much. I think she has, oh shoot, what is it? Oh, how horrible of me to not remember. Those of you who have read it are probably screaming it at me in the comments. I don't think she's autistic. Is she autistic? She might be autistic. Maybe not. I can't remember. I want to say she's autistic. But she's very, very sweet. And she's in a wheelchair because she ended up hurting herself a few years ago. Maddie kind of blames herself for that. And then also going on with their family is that their mother, walked out on the family like a year or so ago. So most of the children were grown at that point, but the mother still walked out on the family. And regardless of how old you are as a child, that's a traumatic experience. So all that's going on. And then, of course, it's the relationship between Maddie and Benjamin. They are in PEI. Benjamin's there visiting his friend, and Maddie and Daisy went with their cousins because they are starting a settlement, essentially. And Maddie's going to open up a grocery store for both the Amish and the English to go to make some money so they can kind of start this Amish settlement, if you will. My big issue, and I don't know why I thought this, but at the beginning of this book, as I was reading it, the first few chapters, I felt like Maddie was young. Like Maddie was like a 14-year-old girl. Like she just read very young to me at the very beginning. And then as the story progressed and they mentioned somewhat of her age, I was like, oh, okay, well that makes more sense. But I don't know. I think my biggest thing with this book, and not that it was badly written, it was very well written, and I did like the characters and stuff like that. I found at certain times they didn't act Amish. Like they just didn't seem to act Amish as I've read Amish. Like even in something like this, the Amish will act a very certain way, right? Because that's their beliefs, that's who they are. But I just felt like there was some instance where they would say like, a phrase from pop culture, and I'd be like, how do you know that? Like, but I guess maybe they've heard it somewhere. I don't know. I just felt like they didn't act very Amish. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but that's how I felt reading this book. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad book. That's just my personal opinion. So anyway, we are going to talk about this more. I'm going to be doing a live show on the 30th of April. 30th of April? Yeah. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. A live reading sprint show, and this book will be discussed then with anyone else who's read it. So if you guys read it and you have time, jump in the comments. It'll be at 6 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Saturday night. So jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts, or if you've already finished it, let me know your thoughts now, and we can discuss it, because, yeah, I liked it. I will continue on with the series, but I just felt at certain times they didn't act very Amish. That was my biggest takeaway of this book. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's the books that I have finished. So what am I currently reading? So I'm still reading. I have it in my book protector because I took it in my purse with me today. A Deputy in Amish Country by Patricia Johns. This is the first book in the Amish Country Haven series. This one, of course, I'm also reading for Amish in April. I am about not quite halfway through it yet. I'm enjoying this one a lot. It's about a woman who witnessed a crime, and she's being hidden in Amish country is he a deputy? He's a deputy. A deputy in Amish country, with this deputy in his home that's in Amish country. And again, the Amish in this book are acting the same way as the dead will tell, like they act a certain way. And anyway, let's not harp on that. Okay. So yeah, I'm still reading this one, and so far I am quite enjoying it. And I've picked up 2 new books because I finished 2 books. So the first one is one that I am working on for the Pass the Parcel Challenge for the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads. I need to get this done by tomorrow night. We shall see if I can do that. Well, ideally, I'd like to get it done by tomorrow night. Logically, I'll probably have it done by the end of the weekend. And that is A Good Duke is Hard to Find by Christina Britton. This is the first book in the Isle of Sin series. I thought it was Shnee, Synne, but it's pronounced Sin because I was listening to the audiobook as well. So I was listening to the audiobook a bit in my car on the way back and forth to work yesterday. Pardon me, I've got the hiccups. I had ramen noodles for lunch and they were delicious. So, yeah, this is the first in the series. This is about our main character, whose name is escaping me. His name is Peter. Her name is Lenora. Lenora, that's her name. Lenora. And she has had her 3rd broken engagement in 3 years. And her father's a little miffed at her. This is, of course, Regency, England. And she goes with her best friend Marjorie to go stay with Marjorie's grandmother at her country estate on this Isle of Sin. And this gentleman by the name of Peter Ashford shows up, and he is actually the next in line for the dukedom. And he's got his own issues. I don't want to get into the whole thing about that, but he's been living in America for the past 13 years. So like I said, I was listening to this one on audio yesterday, and my plan had been to listen to it on audio today on the way back and forth from the hospital. However, I decided not to do that because I wasn't a fan of the audiobook. Ashford McNabb, I think, is the narrator, and she was doing a decent enough job. My issue is that Peter and his friend Quincy are both have American accents. And I did not like the American accents at all. I'm sorry, I couldn't listen to them. So I had a copy of this on my Kindle, so I am reading it now on my Kindle. So yeah, and now I don't have to listen to the attempt at an American accent because it was just bad, guys. It was just bad. And then I started the book for the Pick My Weekend Read. I should just change it now to Pick My Next Week's Read because I'm not necessarily starting these on the weekend, my friends. So this is the one that was picked, and I did borrow it from the library. Even though I did have it from NetGalley, I ended up borrowing it from the library because my download had expired. And that's A Thorn in the Saddle by Rebecca Weatherspoon. I'm only 2 chapters into this one. So this is the California Cowboys series. And I'm not too sure about this one, guys. I'm 2 chapters in. I see it's got really high ratings, but maybe coming off of the Amish book, it was a little oh, okay. There's quite a bit of swearing in this book already. It's very much a change of headspace between an Amish book and this book. But, you know, once I got into the second chapter, I'm enjoying it now. So it's essentially about, it's not a second chance romance, but it's a childhood friends to lovers story, because our two main characters knew each other when they were younger. And then an incident happens in the beginning of the book where our main character, Jesse, catches his grandmother in a very compromising position with this gentleman. And he gets a little bit mad, kind of, you know, is a little bit of a bully, and he pulls the man off of the grandmother. And the man fractures or something like that his wrist. So the man's daughter is, Lily Grace, is the friend that Jesse knew back when they were in school. So Lily Grace is a little mad at him. And the point I just finished at the end of chapter 2 is that she has kind of broken into his boardroom meeting. Like, not broken into, but was able to get herself into this boardroom meeting and pretty much tell him where he could shove it. And, you know, if you do that again, I will own this entire ranch and resort that you own, right? So that's where we're at. Of course, it's going to be a romance. So, yeah. But that's what I'm currently reading, you guys. So, anyway, that is all that I have for today's clip. It's another longer one because I haven't updated you guys in a few days. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get any video going back downtown again today. It's just, it was raining. I was rushing. It just wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. So, anyway, that is all that I have. I am hoping to check in tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is later on Thursday. It is actually just about 5:30 in the afternoon, and I am coming to you with a very, very quick update. I have made the decision to DNF a book, and that book is A Thorn in the Saddle by Rebecca Witherspoon. Unfortunately, I am not loving this. So I was laying here this afternoon. I'm doing some reading on it. So I read 2 chapters of it yesterday, and I read another chapter of it now. And it is, I think I already mentioned, it's like a childhood friends to lovers story, but both of them are very, very angry with each other. And I really don't like the attitudes. I mean, I get that they're both like annoyed with each other, but it seems a little extreme. I'm usually one who doesn't mind a lot of swearing in a book, but this, again, it just feels extreme. Like, I'm not liking the book. I don't know what else to say. There's no particular reason for it. The other thing that I'm finding, too, is that the author is really pushing the fact that this guy is rich. Like, he has a custom wardrobe, and his, you know, Rolex watch, and his this and that. And I've never liked that very showy kind of, yeah, I really wanted to like this one because it's cowboys, it's in California. I mean, I'm loving the setting and all that stuff. It's just, I'm not liking the attitude in a couple different ways. So the attitude of both of our main characters, I just think it's a little extreme, and the whole, I have more money than you do. Like, not that he's explaining that, or not that our main character, Jesse, is making himself seem that to other characters, but to the reader. And that's not what I'm enjoying. So, anyway, DNFing this one. I don't know what I'm going to pick up next, but I will update you guys tomorrow. So, I'll talk to you then. Bye. Hi friends, happy Friday. Today is the 22nd of April, and it is later in the afternoon, I should say. I am home from work. I came home on my lunch break like I do on the days I go into the office, and I am logged back in and ready to start working in about 10 minutes or so. So I have a little bit of time right now, so I wanted to sit down and chat with you guys while I still had some half-decent light before it gets dark and stuff later. And I wanted to sit down because I did finish a book, so I wanted to share that with you. And I also got some book mail today. So this lovely package came in the mail today. So I have already opened up the tape, so I don't have to fight with it with you guys on camera, but I'm going to open it up. I do know what's in here. I literally ordered it less than a week ago, so we shall talk. Yay, I'm very excited. So the book that I finished today. So I was only about 30% of the way through this book yesterday, and then I decided to pick it back up on audio. So the book is A Good Duke is Hard to Find by Christina Britton. So this is the first book in the Isle of Sin series. It is a historical romance novel, and I gave it 3.5 stars. So I did talk about it yesterday, that I wasn't absolutely loving the audio on it. It wasn't horrible. It was just the fact that I did not care for the way the narrator did the American accent for our two male leads, Peter and Quincy. So Quincy's not really a lead. He was like a secondary character. He was Peter's friend. Peter was our male lead. But I just didn't like it. This part of me, as I was listening to it, kept wishing that what they had done was had someone who is a person who is American do Peter's voice, like just voice his lines, because it did get a little bit awkward and I just didn't care for it. I mean, some narrators are really great at switching back and forth between accents, and I think if Peter hadn't been a main character, it would have been just fine as a secondary character, but not as a main character. It just didn't work for me. So that's my thoughts on the audiobook. Now, I wasn't going to finish it on audio. I did actually own a copy on my Kindle. So I did some more reading on it last night before bed, and I was enjoying it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm reading this book for the Pass the Parcel Challenge on Goodreads, which is with the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads. And today, Friday, is the day the new task is announced. And, you know, you don't have to have the book finished, but you have to finish the book before you can start the next task. So I kind of wanted to be caught up because I was a little bit behind. Because usually I finish the book like way earlier in the week. So I'm like, I'm just going to listen to it on audio in the car on my way to work and try and get some of it read. And it's not like I listen to audio faster than I read. I actually listen to audio at the same speed that I read. But of course, while I'm driving makes it very difficult to read a Kindle book. You know, you got to pay attention to the road and the book, and it's just too many things. So the audio is great for that. I just plugged in my headphone and away I drove to work. So I got to work, and today is a beautiful day outside, you guys. Like, absolutely, it's a perfect spring day out today. The sun is shining. It's just that little bit of a cooler breeze. It's just delightful and lovely. So that being said, work has been relatively quiet today. I don't want to say it too loud and jinx the work gods, but it's been on the quieter side. So I was doing a lot of admin stuff today. So I was sitting there and I'm like, well, I only have really like 4 hours left on this audiobook, which, you know, I do kick up the speed a little bit on it. So pop the headphone back in, hit play on the audiobook, and finished it today. So I'm very, very happy about that. So this is an atypical historical romance novel. There was nothing spectacular about it, but I did enjoy it. So it's about a man who, he had an incident with the Duke, and his mother passed away, and he kind of blamed the Duke for the fact that she had to suffer. I guess he had asked the Duke for help, and the Duke was like, no, for, you know, reasons. And, you know, that you find out later in the book. And then Peter, he's the gentleman, he takes off to America. And he spent the last 13 years in America, and he meets this guy named Quincy, and they kind of start this real estate business. So he's very well to do. The Duke is now dying, and he is the only heir. Like, he's not his son, but he's like a distant relative. So he has to come back to England to kind of take over the dukedom when this guy passes away. So Peter is very mad at this guy. He's like, I want him to suffer. So extremely reminiscent of Simon in The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, where, you know, I'm not going to have children. I'm going to let the dukedom die off. It can go back to the crown. I don't care about any of this stuff, hoping that that's going to hurt the old man. You know what I mean? So that's kind of Peter's story. Then we have Lenora, who's our female lead. And she has had 3 failed engagements in 3 years. First one was not really her, none of them were really her fault. So the first guy actually passed away, unfortunately. The second guy was found philandering with the maid, and he took off with the maid. And then the third guy, which is when the book opens up, and we meet Lenora for the first time, it's at her wedding. He was involved in a duel that morning and ended up almost killing the guy he was fighting over the guy's sister. So clearly he was finagling with somebody else as well. And he's now on the lam because he tried to kill this guy in a duel. So, you know, Lenora's father, who is very, you know, hoity-toity, what have you, wants her to marry and marry well. And he's angry at her because that's, you know, clearly this is all her fault. And he tells her she needs to go away for the summer or for some time. And he's going to fix her reputation in society and then bring her back for the season, I guess, or however it works, and then find her a husband. So she goes with her friend Marjorie to this place called the Isle of Sin. And where Marjorie's grandmother lives and they spend the summer with her, and that's where Peter is as well, and they all meet each other, and the story goes from there. So again, I mean, a lot of the themes that are addressed in this book are very, very similar to any other historical romance novel that you have read. Like right away, as soon as the whole thing where Peter kind of says to the Duke, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have children and the dukedom's going to die with me and blah, blah, blah. I heard Simon Bassett from The Duke and I. You know what I mean? The Duke of Hastings. Like, that was his thing as well. So, clearly, I mean, it's not a new concept within historical romance novels. But it was really well done. And I like the characters a lot. I like the secondary characters a lot. I love the grandmother. She was a hoot. The island itself was beautiful. I love the location. I love when these Regency books take place outside of Mayfair or outside of London itself. It's just a lot more fun, whether it be at a country estate or in this case, it's at like this island with a beach and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, at the end of the day, 3.5 stars, more than an average rating for me. I will continue on with the series because I did like it a lot. I want to see Marjorie's story and I want to see Quincy's story. They don't have a story together. I was kind of hoping, and then I read the back of the next couple books and I went, okay, so they don't end up together. They each find their own, but that's cool because I liked both of them as characters. So yeah, at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it. So let's get to the box of books. So this is from Harlequin. So on last Sunday, on Easter, they had a buy 2, get 2 free sale. So I bought 8 books. Or wait, maybe it was Good Friday. It was Good Friday, I think. So essentially, I did a video a few weeks back about my Harlequin anticipated reads. And I asked you guys to vote on books for me. And 4 of the books are books that I'm going to read for another anticipated reading vlog. You guys will have seen one. It came out on Thursday this week, just the other day. So you will have probably already seen that. So what I did was I decided to order the books that are going to be in that reading vlog. However, because it was buy 2, get 2 free, I had to order 8 books because then it's like getting 4 for free. So I'm not going to share with you which ones won, but I am going to share with you guys the stack that I bought because I bought 8 of the books that I mentioned in that video. So essentially, let's get started. And again, I'm not sharing with you guys which books won. You will have to stay tuned towards the end of May to see that reading vlog, to see which books you guys picked and which ones won. You know, I'm going to eventually read all these anyway, but for this vlog, for that vlog coming in particular. So, first book we have here, Second Chance Summer by Joe McNally. I just love that cover. It's so pretty. So this is part of the Gallant Lake Stories series. It's a Harlequin special edition. Cannot wait to read this one. Then we have The Body in the Wall by Rita Herron. This is part of a Badge of Courage novel series, a Harlequin intrigue. Sounded really good. All of these sounded really, really good. We have Her Seal Bodyguard by Cindy Dees. Part of the A Runaway Ranch novel series. It is a Harlequin romantic suspense novel. We have Miss Previtt's Secret Scandal by Brownwyn Scott. Always a delight. The Previtts of Haberstock Hall is the series. So there's the front picture, you guys. And then look at the back. Like, look at how much more of the cover. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Kind of sort of a step back, right? Yeah, so this is, of course, a Harlequin historical. This one was billed as a historical office romance or something like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one very much. We have A Love Inspired, Earning Her Trust by Brenda Minton. This is part of the Canine Companions series. I think this is the 6th book, or 5th book. I read the book prior to this one this month called Her Easter Secret. Is that what it was called? Her Easter Surprise? Her Easter Prayer. Surprise, secret prayer, something like that. Her Easter Prayer, and I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with that series. We have a heartwarming novel, and I love that all of these are in large, like the heartwarming ones are in large print. So we have Her Veterinarian Hero by Elizabeth Mowers. This is part of the Little Lake Rosalie series. Delightful, delightful. Just 2 more here, you guys. We have Death Valley Hideout by Dana Mentink. This is part of a Desert Justice story. Takes place in Death Valley. Love, love, love. And last but not least, A GP to Steal His Heart by Corinne Bain, a Harlequin medical romance novel. So yeah, so there's that one. So that's like my little mini book haul. Again, I'm not sharing with you guys exactly which ones were picked for the vlog. You will have to watch the vlog to see. But there are some of my anticipated reads for the month of May. And I may have placed another small order today as well. I think I got 6 or 7 books. They were having a big 40% off sale. If you bought more than 4 more books, you got 40% off. So I bought 7. But anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this clip right now. I will check in tomorrow with the final clip for the vlog. I do plan on hitting up 2 libraries tomorrow, so I will try to get some footage inside the library. We shall see. But I have some books I have to take back. So that's like priority number 1. And then I do have a couple books to pick up for my May TBR. So anyway, guys, that's it. I will check in with you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, friends. Happy Saturday. Today is the 23rd of April. And it is in the afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just after 3. I just finished doing some live sprints, which were super, super fun. I will be doing more next Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be kind of wrapping up Amish in April, and I'll have Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books joining me, along with Storm from Storm Reads. So very excited about all of that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm here to kind of end off this vlog, but I do have some stuff to show you. So I want to talk about the books that I'm currently reading. I also want to share with you, because I did go to the library. Sorry I didn't get any video at the library or anything like that. It was very quick. My husband was waiting in the car. I promised him I'd only be a few minutes, and I was. So I want to show you that. And then I also want to show you the book that won for the, the Pick My Weekend Read, which probably will not get started this weekend. It may get started tomorrow, but it'll definitely be one that I'm trying to get to before the end of the month. And then I did buy a book at Walmart. So I kind of got a lot of things going on right now. I got all these books laid out in front of me. So we'll start off with the library. So I went to the library, like I said, and I picked 4 books. These are going to kind of go on my May TBR. They're going to go on the wheel, like the wheel that I spin. So if I get to them, I get to them. If not, I don't, and I'm not too worried about it. But these all looked really cute, and they also looked like great kind of summary reads, if you will. So we have Million Love Songs by Carol Matthews. It's, the Sunday Times bestselling author. I believe this is like a UK chick lit kind of a book. They put the sticker kind of over top of the back of this. After splitting with, I guess, a boyfriend, she's ready for a change. She's single for the first time in years and is going to dive into this brave new world with a smile on her face and a spring in her step. The last thing she's looking for is a serious relationship. So that's what it sounds like. Looks like it might take place in Paris. I'm very interested. The cover looks super cute, so I decided to pick it up. If I do not get to it, I'm probably going to put it on my wish list to pick up at some point. Then I found this one. It's called Passport to Happiness by Carrie Stone. One Woman's Journey from Lost to Found. I read on Goodreads, when I was looking at this on Goodreads, it came up saying that it was a cross between Eat, Pray, Love and Bridget Jones. So, yeah, I am interested. It sounded interesting. With her job, again, why do they put the sticker over top of part of this? With her job, with her single status and the never-ending line of rubbish men she meets, tired of going through the motions of seeming happy, Everly wants to be happy. So in a spontaneous moment of bravery, Everly books a holiday. Time away alone to find out what she really wants from life. Everly's search for happiness takes her to picturesque Swiss villages, glamorous Bermuda and sun-drenched beaches of Bali. And with every new stamp on her passport, Everly still feels as though something is missing. Could it be that true happiness is hard to find until she finds herself? Okay, that sounds delightful. I want to read this right now. This might have to be my first book. One of my first books in May. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. So, did I tell you guys I've become obsessed with like this YouTube channel that I didn't, sorry, the camera's a little, there we go. That I've kind of become obsessed with this YouTube channel. So you guys have probably heard of it, or some of you have probably heard of it. I had never heard of them before. They have like 3 million subscribers, okay? It's called Kara and Nate. And they're a couple, and back in 2016, they saved up like $30,000, quit their jobs, sublet their apartment. This is like all real. and decided to spend a year traveling the world. And then, of course, they got followers because they vlogged the whole thing and they have all these subscribers. And now, the YouTube stuff pretty much pays for them to continue to travel. And then when the pandemic hit in 2020, they were forced to come home. And then they bought this like converted van and have been traveling the US in this van during the pandemic. I'm obsessed. So I've like literally started watching their videos from the beginning. And I love it. So I know I'm never going to see 90% of these places that they visit. And it's kind of like part travel, part the two of them. And it's delightful. So anyway, like anything involving travel right now is like right on the ball for me. So this one looks really good. Then I picked up this one by Jill Mansell called It Started With a Secret. The reason it piqued my interest because when I was looking at, the sun's now coming out. When I picked, the spine has this little seagull on it, and I'm like, well, the seagull is summery, so I like him. And there's seagulls on the cover and a beach umbrella. So I think I've read her before. Hold on. This says, the trouble with secrets is that you can't guess what the consequences will be, which is true. So I don't really want to read too much. I believe this is like a women's fiction novel. So I'm very excited about this one. And then for something completely different, because this one was on the shelf. I have this feeling I own this book as a print book behind me on the shelf. Regardless, I grabbed it from the library. It's not like it cost me any money. And that is The Yankee Widow by Linda Leal Miller. This is a Civil War historical fiction. She is one of my favorite authors in terms of cowboy contemporary romances. So I'm really, really, really excited about this one. It says, a richly layered emotional novel about one woman's courage and the choices she must make in the face of a dangerous war. So I'm very excited to hopefully get to this one. I love this cover. I do not care for the paperback cover of this book. If I like this, I might have to hunt out a hardcover for my collection because I prefer the hardcover copy. So anyway, so those are the books that I picked up at the library. But just prior to going to the library, my husband and I had to go to Walmart. I had to grab my medication, very important, and we grabbed a couple snacky type things. I bought more strings always hang off something here. Bought more jelly beans. I also got some yogurt covered pretzels, which are delicious, and I love them. And of course I had to go and look at the books, and I was really disappointed because the Walmart by us, they have like book deals, right? So they have like sometimes 30-40% off new releases. This Walmart had that as well. But the other thing that my Walmart has that's closer to me, because this one's a little bit further away, it's closer to my aunt's house. It's closer to where we used to live, which is why my medication is there. I really should transfer it to another Walmart, but that's besides the point. So the Walmart closer to us has deals, like with the Harlequin books, the category romance books. They have deals where you can get 3 for $15, which is a great freaking deal. They also have like mass market paperbacks. They offer them 2 for $15, which again is a really good deal. This Walmart does not offer that. So I guess it's depends on each franchise, if you will. But I saw this book, and even though I had to pay full price for it, I looked at it on Kindle, and it was going to be like $1 cheaper on Kindle. And I'm like, I'm just going to get the mass market max paperback of it. But I've heard of this author, but I've never heard of this book. So it's called Maps for the Getaway by Annie England Noblin. So there's the cover. I think this might have to get added to my May TBR as well, which is ever growing at this point. Like I've got like 50 books on there. My TBR video is coming later this week. It will not have 50 books on that video. I will only be talking about some of the books, but I might want to try and read this one. So it says 3 women and 1 puppy jump in a 1962 red Lincoln Continental on the road trip to Las Vegas. What could possibly go wrong? 3 friends, 1 dog, and an amazing road trip they'll never forget. So yeah, I am down for this. It just sounds so good. It sounds so good. So I decided to pick it up, and I'm like really excited about it. So, and I love the chapter. Each chapter has this like little drawing at the top of the page. I kind of love it. And it looks like each chapter is told by a different character. Yeah, it is. But yeah, I just thought that looked just so freaking adorable. So before I get into the books that I'm currently reading on, ending off this week's vlog, the book that won for the Pick My Weekend Read, the 3 picks were Blind Trust by Laura Scott, Mistletoe Season by Michelle Major, and the one that won was Isn't It Bromantic by Lyssa Kay Adams. The 4th book in the Bromance Book Club series. This is not the final book. There's a Christmas book coming out at the tail end of this year. So a lot of people, when they voted on this, made that comment that the 5th book in the series comes out in October, November, might even be September. So hopefully I can get this read now, and then I will be caught up so I can read the last, I don't know, the newest book when it comes out. So I talk about this book in that video, in my Friday video. But yeah, it says, with his passion for romance novels, it was only a matter of time before Vlad wrote one. So again, the 4th in the series, you don't necessarily have to read the series in order, but I don't know, this one I think is like a fan favorite kind of situation where you meet him, Vald, in book 1. And you see him as a secondary character in book 1, 2, and 3. And he really, when he steps on the page, he kind of takes over the scene. Like, the Russian is he's a character. Let's be real. He's a character. And when she announced that she was doing his book, I think a lot of fans of the series got super excited because they were just such fans of the Russian, of him, right? So, yeah, I do actually have this on audio as well from Audible. So I will be listening to it even though I own a copy in physical format. So I am really, really looking forward to it, and I will be getting to this before the end of the month. So my goal, because today is Saturday, so as of today we have 8 days left in the month, including today. We have 8 days left. So this, all next week and next Saturday, and then it's May. Next Sunday is May. So my hopes of books to finish. I am reading Gone with the Wind still. It's behind me on the shelf. It's right there. I'm not going to bring that out to show you guys. I think I got another 3 or 4 chapters read of that one. I'm not trying to finish that by the end of the month. That is not my goal. I would like to finish it by the end of May. We shall see. If I get there, I get there. If not, so be it. So that one I'm not really worrying about. Before the end of May, though, I would like to start and finish, Isn't It Bromantic? That is one of my goals. The other goal is to finish these 4 books as well. And there are 2 others I would like to get to as well. So my goal between now and the end of the week, by the end of next Saturday, is to finish 4, 5, 6, 7 books. I don't know if I can do it, but we shall see. We shall see. So what am I currently reading? That is the question. I don't think I talked about this book yesterday, but I did start this one. Yeah, because I did my clip earlier in the day. I started Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors by Sonolia Dev, and you might be asking yourself, why? Why would you start another freaking book? Because clearly I have a problem. So I am that far into it. So as I've mentioned before, I am participating in the Romance Readers Reading Group's fun little challenge called Pass the Parcel, where you are put on a team, and each team, you kind of work with your team, and you're kind of given a week to read the book in a way, right? So essentially, the way that this is going to work, the way that this works out, is that I finished the book yesterday for last week's challenge. So it was called last night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is typically when we find out what the next challenge is going to be. And this week's challenge was to read a book that is either set in or features a character from an Asian country. And India is counted as an Asian country. And our female lead in this book is Asian Indian. Or, oh my God, that came out so badly. I'm sorry. Indian American. That's the word I'm looking for. Indian American. So sorry about that. And so it fits the prompt. And I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. I was holding off on it because I wanted to do a reread of Pride and Prejudice. Now, I read Pride and Prejudice a couple of years ago. I was talking to my friend Rainey over at Rainy Day Reads, and she said this is a relatively loose retelling of P&P, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did go on last night onto a website, and I kind of read the very brief, plot of P&P. So I kind of like, okay, yes, that's what happened in that book. So now when I read this, I'm kind of familiar again with the story. But going forward for the rest of the books in this series, the next one is called A Recipe for Persuasion. I've never read Persuasion. So I think my goal will be to read Persuasion, and then read A Recipe for Persuasion. And then same with In Sense and Sensibility, it's Sense and Sensibility. And then the Emma Project is Emma. Now, I've read Emma, so I think I might not do a reread of Emma, but we shall see. So anyway, yeah, so I am reading that one. I'm only just a little bit of the way through it. I'm actually listening to this on audio. Most of these, except for one, I'm listening to on audio, and I am really enjoying that because I do love a good audiobook. So yeah, and the narrator on this one is doing a fabulous job. And then the one book I'm not listening to on audio is A Deputy in Amish Country by Patricia Johns. But I do read physically a lot. Like, it feels like slower than I do read audio. I guess because audio I just kind of pick up. Like, I can listen to it in the car. I can listen to it while I'm crafting. Blah, blah, blah. Whereas a print book I tend not to gravitate towards as much. So I'm halfway through this at this point. And I am enjoying it. I need to finish this by the end of next week. And then, so that book and the next two are all Amish and April books. So I don't know how far I am through this one. I think about 20% maybe, through Murder Tightly Knit by Vanetta Chapman. This is book 2 in the An Amish Village mystery series. So this is a cozy mystery series, set in a little Amish shopping village, which is delightful. I read the first book, which is called Murder Simply Brewed. So this is now the second book, and so far I am enjoying it. I don't have much to say about it at this point. So this is the one I started yesterday after I finished the Duke book, the one by Christina Britton. And yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying it. Again, I've got it on audio out from my library. So yeah, so that is that. And then the final book that I'm currently reading right now is Premeditated Peppermint. And this is by Amanda Flower. And I think I'm 15 or 20% of the way through this one as well. Again, I'm also listening to it on audio from Hoopla. Sorry, I got some crud in the screen. This is why I prefer a flat, like a flush screen, because crud tends to get stuck in here. So I'm reading this, well, I've got this out from the library on my Kobo, but, oh, sorry for shaking the camera. But like I said, I am listening to the audio from Hoopla, and this is the third book in the Amish Candy Shop cozy mystery series. And I'm enjoying it so far, so yeah, so that's that. Anyway, guys, that is it for this week's vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I have no idea how long this is, but I think I got some longer clips in here, so that's a thing. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this edited and get it ready to post for tomorrow. And that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. And like I said, next week is the last full week of April. So next week's vlog we're going to end it off with April books, which is great. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. But anyway, guys, like I said, my May TBR will be coming out next week, along with the May TBR bingo numbers. I'll be doing that video as well on Tuesday. So if you guys are looking for those numbers, they will be coming on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that as well. Anyway, I'm rambling. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.